Dating fast. Go date fast. My name is Lisa Cotter, and this is Ascension Presents. So my husband Kevin and I spent 11 years as Focus missionaries. And if you're not familiar with Focus, it's the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, and their missionaries work with students on college campuses. So one of the unique things about being a Focus missionary is that when you join staff, you are asked to take a year-long fast from dating. Which sounds kind of crazy, and maybe is kind of crazy. But after watching hundreds of missionaries go through this dating fast, which we actually avoided because we were already married, but watching them go through it, we realized that there are some major benefits to a dating fast. Now, when we talk about a dating fast, what we don't mean is like just not going on dates. I mean, that's, obviously a part of it. But more so, it's about a mindset. Having a mindset where dating isn't something that you are focusing on. It's not something you're obsessing about. It's not something that you're thinking about, okay, what's my next move? Or how could I, get to know this person better? But really just taking a break from the scene altogether. And there's several reasons why you might want to do this. So I have for you 7 reasons why you might want to go on a dating fast. Reason number 1, to avoid a dating addiction. Listen, anytime we fast from something, it's typically not because it's a bad thing. Now, sometimes it is, but typically it's a good thing. Like in the Catholic Church, we fast from meat on Fridays during Lent. Not because meat is bad or evil, but because we want to show and prove to ourselves that we are in control of our bodies and our bodies are not in control of us. Same thing when it comes to dating. We want to make sure that we are in control of our passions and our desires, and that our passions and desires are not in charge of us. And so sometimes we need to take a break from dating to make sure that we don't become addicted to it. When I was in high school, I was actually kind of addicted to dating. I was that girl who would go from one boyfriend to the next boyfriend. And I even had a backup boyfriend who I was on again, off again with quite frequently in case if things didn't work out and I was in a season of a lull. All right, that's called an addiction. That's not where we want to be. So if you find yourself constantly just looking as soon as you end one relationship for the next one, a dating fast might be for you. Second reason why you might want to consider a dating fast is to avoid a rebound. Listen, this is just secular wisdom. Anybody will tell you after you go through a breakup, it's a really good idea to take a bit of a break so you give yourself some time to evaluate what just happened. How did you grow from it? But also, how would you do things differently in the future? It's a good idea just to take that time and ask the Lord. Because not every breakup is necessarily a mistake that you dated to begin with, but maybe the Lord's trying to teach you something through that. He will use everything. And so we want to make sure that we take that time to be able to learn everything we can before we just emotionally rush into another relationship, which is a real danger. When we have just gone through a breakup, our emotions can be all over the place and can be really easy to want to just rush into the first thing that comes your way, even though it might not be the right thing. Third reason why you might want to consider going on a dating fast would be to discern your vocation. We live in a society that really just kind of assumes that we're supposed to get married. Or at least in the Catholic Church, we kind of assume that, our vocation is definitely marriage. But there's a reality that maybe God is calling you to a religious vocation. Maybe he wants you to be a priest or a religious. Maybe he's calling you to be a cloister, who knows? But if you've never asked the Lord that or given him the time to really speak to your heart about that, he's going to have a hard time getting that message across. And so if you've never spent the time to intentionally discern your vocation, when I say intentionally, doing things like maybe going to visit a convent or talking to a priest or a religious or talking to your vocations director just to see and open yourself up to that, if you've never done that, give yourself that freedom. And it's kind of hard to discern 2 things at once, which is why I suggest that maybe that's something you intentionally do for a season to see if the Lord is trying to speak to your heart in that way. And you might save yourself a lot of heartache going through these relationships when God's plan for you in the end is not marriage to begin with. All right, 4th reason why you might want to consider a dating fast is to become a better friend to the opposite sex. It can be really easy when we are single to see every person as a potential date. And then instead of entering into friendship with them, we're first evaluating, are they boyfriend material? Are they girlfriend material? And then we miss that opportunity to just see, are they friends? Are they friendship material? Every great relationship, or many, I should say, many great relationships start on a foundation of friendship. I don't know anybody who would ever regret starting out being friends with somebody before they date them, because it gives you an opportunity to get to know them in a unique way where there's not this pressure of, well, we're trying to figure out, what our future together is going to be, or we're trying to figure out where this is leading. But instead, you just get to be friends with them. And in addition to that, it's a really good skill to have, because one day, if you get married, if you're called to marriage, you're going to stop dating other people, and you're going to have to know how to be friends with the opposite sex, because you're not going to continue to look at every other person as a potential date because, well, you're married. So it's a good skill to build anyway. Might be a reason why you might want to consider going on a dating fast. Number 5 would be to focus on a mission. Many missionary organizations, such as Focus, require a dating fast at the beginning of their year of service, because it's just a good idea. It just gives you that freedom to be able to focus on your mission. And maybe you're not joining an organization, but maybe this is a season of life where it's your last semester of a degree that you're working towards. And you just need to focus, and you want to just put that drama, that side of your life out for a while so you can focus. Or maybe God's calling you to a temporary mission field where you're not required to go on a dating fast, but maybe that's something for you that you would like to do. I don't know what the circumstances could be, but giving yourself that freedom to focus on something that the Lord has called you to for a season might be a reason you might want to consider a dating fast. Reason number 6, this is a big one, to heal. Sometimes we have baggage that we have brought in from past relationships, or maybe not even past relationships, but just past experiences with romantic feelings towards other people. Maybe we've just had bad experiences that we need to take some time to be able to heal from and process from. And this isn't to say that I'm expecting first become perfect before you go date. First fix everything from your past before you start to date. But to be able to really spend some intentional time to really spend a moment to sit down and to try to process what happened and think about how that's affecting the way that you relate to other people, especially when it comes to dating. Healing is always going to be an incremental thing, but sometimes we can make some big strides, and then that helps us as we do this process of continual healing that is going to go on throughout the rest of our lives. Now, the final reason why you might want to go on a dating fast, which would be number 7, is to learn how to let Jesus be the first priority in your life, the first person in your life. Over and over again, I've seen in dating relationships where people expect their significant other to be their savior. And this always goes poorly. Whenever we expect somebody else to be the one to show us our worth and our value and our dignity, or to show us that we're beautiful or that we matter, we're putting a pressure on them that they cannot fulfill. And so that relationship is going to struggle. So if you've not taken the time to really allow Jesus to fill that place in your heart that belongs first and foremost to him, it's going to be really hard, because you're going to constantly be trying to put somebody else in that place. So if you know that, I keep expecting different people to be the person who's going to fill this place in my heart, then give yourself the freedom to just back away from dating for a while, to just take a break from it and really get to know the Lord, get to know his heart, get to know who he is, and allow him to reveal to you what his plan is for your future and your vocation. And that, I promise, will give you a lot of peace when it comes to dating and relationships. All right, so 2 things I want to leave you with when it comes to a dating fast. Time frame. Everybody wants to know, well, how long am I supposed to do this for? Well, I would suggest at least 3 months minimum, because the reality is that just doing a month or so really isn't going to give you enough time to dive into this. So I'd say 3 months minimum, up to probably a year, somewhere in there. Pray about it. Ask the Lord, what do you desire from me? How long should I be taking this fast from? And the second thing is that if you start a dating fast and then you meet somebody and you're like, maybe I don't want to do this dating fast anymore, I really want to encourage you to stick to it. The Lord is doing something. If he's called you to this commitment to this dating fast, commit back to him. Trust that that person will still be there when this dating fast is over if he's called you to this. Trust that God has a plan. And even that in itself can be a beautiful lesson to see that God will always provide. So there you have it, 7 reasons why you might want to consider going on a dating fast. Here's my challenge to you. If any of these reasons stand out, if there's any one reason that I said and you were like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to do this, pray about it. Maybe the Lord wants you to take a dating fast. Know of my prayers and be saints. It's worth it.